Welcome to drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. And as you know, here we are Black first, and in our community, we like to take a look at all the people that are doing brilliant things that you may or may not know about. And one of the things you may know or maybe don't know is that we have a lot of really talented people that are in the comic industry. I'm hesitant to define it because it seems like it goes into so many spaces. I was going to say the comic book industry, but I feel like that kind of limits things based on our two guests today. But before I introduce the guests, I want to ask everybody if you agree that that Black people can do anything. Put your hashtag B1 in the chat. If you love Black people, put a hashtag B1 in the chat. If you want the Black family to win, put a hashtag B1 in the chat. If you love Black men and Black women, put a hashtag B1 in the chat. That is our calling card. That's what we believe. Use B1 as the hashtag anytime you're having conversations online so you can talk to other intelligent Black people, because we got to find each other, because y'all know the world is a little bit crazy. All right. So today, the special guest that I have on here, I have the honor of speaking with two brothers that are doing some really awesome stuff. And I'm telling you, they're not rappers. They're not basketball. Maybe they are, but they didn't tell me they are. They're not basketball players. They're not, they're not criminals or people that you're going to put on TV. These are brothers that are actually in the comic industry, and they are young entrepreneurs and CEOs. And the two brothers that I have here are David Gueringer, and he's going to tell me if I mangled his name in a minute, and because I'm still working on it. Just forgive me, chalk it up to my ignorance. And also Hotep Anthony from Macchiato Studios. And David is also the founder of Next Arc Studios, and they have some really interesting, cool stuff that I think everybody should see. But before I begin, I'd like to ask my brother, Mr. G, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me on here. Thanks for having both of us. It's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
And, you did pretty good. It's Gueringer.
Gueringer. Okay, Gueringer.
Yeah. I saw a good way to remember it is like a Derringer, but with the
There
G.
we go. Okay, good. Or even I can remember that. And also Hotep Anthony, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having us on here. And just because I know people are going to ask, that is my real name. Hotep is my birth name. So thank you in advance.
I love it. Now, where'd the name come from?
The name Hotep, so it means peace. It's an Egyptian name of a pharaoh from Egypt, obviously. But yeah, it means peace. My parents really liked it, and it's actually used pretty often today as like a greeting among some people. They just say Hotep to mean peace or hello, things like that in nature. So
now, what about now? Tell me what is special about your parents that led them to give you a name like Hotep? It sounds like your parents were not, that they were more thoughtful than a lot of parents, because it takes a lot of thought to give your child a name like that. Tell me about your parents.
So my parents, they came from, they're immigrants to America. My father's from Guyana, which is in South America. Then my mother's from Jamaica. And so they came and they both immigrated to New York and happened to run into each other in I think around their late teens. And then around that time, they had gotten into like kind of Nation of Islam, that kind of movement like that. And they really kind of became engrossed in they became Black activists, so to speak. And that name Hotep, it had a lot of power and meaning in that time. It still does. And they really wanted to name all of their children something that had meaning aside from, I don't want to say standard or traditional names, but they had a large emphasis on your name carrying weight and carrying meaning, and that subconsciously that would affect your life going forward. And I feel like they're really correct on that.
Interesting. Well, I went to Ghana for the first time. Last year I was there for a whole semester. My wife did a fellowship there, and the Guyanese people are some amazing people, and I had a great time there. And to tell you the truth, how ignorant I am, I didn't even know where Guyana was on the map. She told me she was going to Guyana, and I said, "Oh, we're going to Ghana. Okay, well, I got to go with you. I got to protect my woman. I'm gonna go wherever you go, babe. I'm gonna be right there." And she said, "No, Guyana." I said, "Well, where's that?" And I looked on the map, and it's in South America, but it's not like the other South American countries. And actually we went to Jamaica while we were in Guyana. So it's so very nice to meet you, brother. Okay, so let's just start from the top. I want to show you guys. And by the way, I have you guys muted just because of that background noise. I'm going to try to minimize that, but I want everybody to see a sample of some of the work these young Black men have done, because I really think this is so important for all of us to see. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go to the YouTube channel. Now, there's plenty of things I want to show you, but this is interesting in terms of things that are being done with animation or with comic animation. I guess that's the term we can use, that you may not know about. And I want everybody to kind of see this because it's super cool. And I know I'm intrigued by it. So let me show you guys this. I'm just going to start off with that. So let me see if I can get this right. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to turn my audio on. So let me know. Everybody give me a yes in the chat when I hit play if you can hear this. Let me know if you can hear this okay.
Hey, what's up, man? Try to listen to Ninja Won't be me this time. Done. Can't use it. Yeah. Oh no, he's too fast. I can't keep up.
Okay, so all right, so I gotta ask. Okay, so what was that? It almost looked like rock paper scissors or something like that. That's how you describe it. So tell me what was happening in that scene we just saw.
I'm so glad that you said it reminded you of rock paper scissors because that's exactly what it is. This is actually a game that we came up with when we were at an anime convention. We named it Jonkin Jutsu, which is after Jonkin-po, which is Japanese name for rock, paper, scissors. So it's like ninja rock, paper, scissors. And, you know, when you're at a convention, it's nice to have something to do other than to just buy stuff and go to panels. So we have a lot of different videos where we would go and just interact with people, ask funny questions, and like play Jonkin Jutsu. And the reason that I asked you about showing this is with the pandemic, we weren't, you know, a lot of the conventions were shut down and sort of that community that we were building was sort of stagnated. So what we ended up doing was creating a card game out of the same concept. So last summer we had a bunch of beta testers. So we tested the game and everyone was having a lot of fun. We got a ton of great feedback. And over the past few months, we've been getting all of the final artwork done. So we got the final set and we're gearing up to launch in the mid to late fall. So pretty soon.
Well, I like the fact that you mentioned beta testing. I mean, that's a good way to create a product, right? You find out what people want and you go, exactly. Then you go create. A lot of people do it the other way around. They don't find out that the product isn't any good until they've already made it. And then you wasted a bunch of time and money. So I think that's smart. So let me ask you, brother Hotep Anthony, now from Macchiato Studios. First thing, the video you sent me, I requested permission. So I guess from the Google Drive, just give me permission and I can open it up and I can show everybody. I hit the request permission button, just so you know. And I'm going to actually show, just so that we can really talk about what, a lot of our young entrepreneurs are doing. I assume you guys are younger than me. How old are you? Are you in your 20s?
I'm 29.
Okay. And how old are you, Hotep? Oh, wait, he's muted.
He's
Sorry
muted.
about that.
Yeah, I'm 28. Yeah.
28 and 29. I love it. And that's a great time to begin that process of becoming a millionaire, which you guys are going to be one day. I know that. And so here's Macchiato Studios. And this is, it looks like there's a lot of really nice animation going on here. And I'll put the name on the screen if anybody wants to go check it out and support the business. So tell me about Macchiato Studios, Hotep. What should we know about your company? Is he still muted?
Yes.
Oh, he's muted. Sorry about that. We were playing that rock paper scissors game, and I did the. Go ahead.
Big rock.
Yeah, no problem. So Macchiato Studios is founded as a essentially it's a studio that helps people create their own manga and their own comic books. So when I started writing Macchiato, which is the name of our maiden title, our maiden comic book, I went through such a hassle of trying to find artists and letterers and editors and writers, people to help me out to make this comic. And I don't know if you ever worked with artists, but it's very difficult to really to get everyone to collaborate and be on the same team, be on the same page. Let me know if you can still hear me, just because it looks like.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Sometimes I make people go full screen. It's kind of a surprise. So sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. But yeah, so our idea was to find a reliable group of artists and just a reliable team in general to help people tell their stories. And we focus more so on manga and comic books manga rather than comic books, because there's a bit of a distinctive style difference and ideology that goes along with them as well. Comic books are a more Western traditional format, which kind of focuses on capes and superhero type characters, Batman, Superman, things of that nature. Whereas manga has a more of a free form, and they kind of focus more on really anything you want them to. Manga tends to have a wider array of what exactly their stories are about.
Well, everybody who's watching, first of all, the names of the brothers I'm talking to on the screen, and I hope you'll at least take a look at what they have going on. And the names of their companies are right there. David Gueringer is with Next Arc Studios, and he has a YouTube channel, Instagram page, and Facebook page. And I hope everybody watching will go and consciously make a decision. Remember, you got to be a conscious consumer to build things in your community. So I hope you will give me a yes in the chat if you can consciously just go to the YouTube channel, follow the brother, follow, support, because I know the internet can be a crazy, sometimes it feels like a lonely place, when you put stuff out there. I don't know if anybody else has gone through that, where you put stuff out there and it seems like nobody's looking. I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well. And this brother is he's far more talented than some of these craziness that people are doing to get attention on the internet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So rather than talking about what we don't like, let's talk about what we do like, right? So give me a yes if you can just go to the brother's page. Don't cost you nothing. All you got to do is pay attention. Just go and follow, like, subscribe. He's on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And also Macchiato Studios is at macchiato.studios. It's right there, or macchiato.studio. Is that correct?
Yeah, Macchiato.studio. We're also on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok as well. So
okay, and go there to the website and follow, support. If you like what you see and there's a product for sale and it doesn't cost much, I hope you'll consider supporting the business. So let me ask you, were we able to get the permissions on that video that you sent over?
Actually, I think David, you'll have to approve it.
It's on my end. All right, no problem.
Yeah, okay. And
I'm super hyped about that.
Oh yeah, okay, great. Well, I'm hyped too. I like this because I think that I've noticed that there's a whole world in the I would say the comic space, but you mentioned there's anime, so it's different, right? It sounds like it's a different culture and everything else. And my kids are deep into anime. My 14-year-old there was some animation, I forgot what it was called, but they're these big ugly giants that are like walking around. You know what I'm talking about? Well, what's it called? Everybody loves it.
Attack of the Titans.
Attack of the Titans.
Gotta be.
Yeah. So I watched Attack of the Titans with our 14-year-old, and it was so interesting because it's so different. It was like I remember sitting there like, this is some weird, trippy shit. Like, this is crazy, very emotional, a lot of emotions in the end. And so I went and I Google searched the creator of Attack of the Titans and where it came from and the way they express the characters in it. And it's intriguing. So what makes someone as talented as you guys go toward anime as opposed to, say, traditional comics? So what's the appeal of anime over other forms of expression? Either one of you can answer that.
And just for me, really quick, I think Hotep mentioned it earlier in terms of sort of the Western versus Eastern philosophies. And I don't know if it was just the way I was born or something like that. But for me, the way that animes portrayed stories resonated with me a lot more. Like having the it's sort of cheesy, but like the power of friendship. Like I grew up in Washington Park, which was one of the worst neighborhoods in the U.S. in terms of like murders per capita. So I saw a lot of things going on in my neighborhood, and to have friends and family that I could believe and support in, and that could help me overcome, what I was seeing around me, it was something that resonated with me. And it wasn't something that I saw as much in a lot of like the American cartoons. So that sort of just was what really pushed me toward loving and learning more about anime.
Okay, so Hotep, and by the way, I know some of you are asking for the contact information. Just so you know, on the screen when I make them full screen, their information will appear. Also, I'll try to type in the information on the screen so you can see it. So Next Start Studios on YouTube. I want you to go and follow that to support this brother David. And then also I'll put up Hotep's information as well. So let's just not congratulate them in the chat. Let's really go and support. Like, again, it doesn't cost you anything unless you want to invest, which I'm sure every business can use revenue, but you don't have to do that. Just, some sort of attention is beneficial. So let me, you guys sent me that video and it looks like I might be able to get in now. So what I'm going to do is see if I can pull it up on my screen. And actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna download it onto the computer. So that's gonna take 1 second. So let me ask you. So you said you grew up in Washington Park.
Yes,
that's a part of Chicago, right?
Yes, it's just south of Hyde Park.
I know that. I know why. I thought I knew Washington Park. I used to live a couple blocks from Washington Park. I think it's changed a lot though since in the last few years, right?
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of new building infrastructure. Some gentrification going on,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, because Washington Park was within walking distance of where I live, because Barack Obama lives just a couple blocks away from at least the part of Washington Park I knew about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I lived down the street from my uncle. So
yeah. Oh, that's right, and that's where you met David. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it adds up. Now, okay, so Hotep, where you said you grew up in New York?
I was born in New York, but I moved down to Florida when I was around 7 or so. So mostly a Florida boy.
Oh, really? Okay. So now you're a Florida man. Now you're a Florida man. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up this video. Let's see. It looks like okay. So here we go. I'm gonna share this, and hopefully everybody can hear it. If everyone could hit the thumbs up button and give me a yes to let me know you can hear the video when I start playing it. Sometimes the audio doesn't come through the way I want to, but I'm gonna do my absolute best. So give me a yes when I play this to let me know that you can hear this.
It's gonna be a basic introductory session, right? Like Ken 101 type stuff?
Is that what you were expecting? Speaking of kin, that's actually a good place to start. To reiterate what we said to you on the night we met, Ken is a universal force that shapes reality. As Ken users, each have the ability to shape a different aspect of reality. Allow me to demonstrate. Imperial Ken! It gives the user the ability to manipulate the density, shape, and mass of an object, including their own body, in order to perform incredible feats of strength. Elemental Ken allows one to destruct, construct, and transmute objects, provided they have the necessary knowledge and resources for the atomic composition. Quantum Ken users can manipulate light, gravity, space, and to a lesser extent, time. Psycho Ken is how we perceive reality and can be used for telekinesis, telepathy, illusions, and even be materialized into weapons and barriers. And finally, Cosmic Ken revolves around the myriad of energy sources that flow throughout the universe. Thermal, nuclear, magnetic, etc. Depending on the wielder, it can be used to either sustain life or under my guidance, you will become capable of this and much more.
Show off.
All right. Everybody, give him a digital round of applause for that. I thought that was interesting, very entertaining. So, Hotep Anthony, tell us about what we just saw.
Right. So that is my comic that I've written called Macchiato. Brief background: the story is about five strangers who are drafted to essentially become the heroes in a war of another planet's kind of galactic enslavement of the world, of the galaxy rather. And so they get drafted, and as they kind of interact with each other, they find out they have a lot more in common with each other than they originally thought. And so that's what that comic. That's what the comic's about. That was just a small kind of portion of the comic that we decided to go ahead and turn into a motion comic. So I did all the writing. My team did all the art, the coloring, the lettering, all of that nature, and then David's team handled all the audio and the visuals for that. For that.
Well, okay, so David, what's your interpretation? How can we, if we're trying to learn to understand the world of anime and gain an appreciation for it, how would you describe what we just saw as well?
So in Macchiato, what they were just explaining was sort of the power system. So each of those five characters harnesses a different sort of ability, which you see a lot in animes. There's sort of like that explanation because if there's a different power system or sort of rules. So he was sort of explaining what are the unique traits of each one of their abilities. Everything from changing size to manipulating the environment around them to influencing space and time. So they do a lot of really cool stuff. And it's interesting to see because they start off, like I was saying earlier, they're underdogs. They don't really know any of this. They're very new to it all. And it reminds you of sort of our personal growth. We all have sort of this power within us. Maybe it's not the power to change time or shoot energy beams, but there's this realization process that we go through as we're tested and tried and, learn to believe in ourselves that I think is depicted amazingly in this story.
Well, everybody, I'm speaking with two brothers by the name of David Gueringer and Hotep Anthony. And Hotep Anthony is the CEO and founder of Macchiato Studios. I'm going to put the URLs on the screen, so I hope you'll support. Also, David is the CEO and founder of Next Stark Studios. And you know what? The thing about being a CEO and starting a powerhouse business is if you have customers that support you and love you, then that makes you into a powerful CEO. So I want you all to use your superpower, the power of Black economics, and breathe life into their businesses. Because if these were your brothers, your husbands, your sons, or whatever the case may be, you'd want them to be successful. So let's just be conscious about making sure they succeed. And I know I'm going to go definitely and support myself. And so I guess the last question I'll kind of ask each of you individually is in terms of kind of moving forward and well, first let's look back actually. Yesterday we had some animators on that one guy they were both in their 80s. They were like 80, one was 86, one was 87. And one of the brothers worked with Walt Disney. Like literally, like you can go down the list of like the most iconic cartoons from Sleeping Beauty to everything else, Fat Albert, all kinds of stuff that he was actually, they were literally the creators of Fat Albert. Like that like Bill Cosby had actually recommended them. And so I had so much respect for these men because of what they went through and overcame and fought through when they were your age. And so who were your heroes? Like, did you have anybody? I'll start with you, David, and then you, Hotep. Did you have anybody that you kind of looked up to where you were like, okay, I want to be like that one day? Like, what was that like for you?
I mean, honestly, if I had to say, because that wasn't really like my MO growing up, but I always had just like so much love and respect for Dave Chappelle. Like the way that he brings comedy and awareness to topics was just something that I just found magical. And, if there's a way that I can incorporate that same sort of humor and intellect in the content I do, even if it's, anime inspired, that's the dream.
Well, that's an interesting point because I would imagine also that Aaron Magruder might be.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that. That was like actually the first comic strip that I read because my uncle, he was like, yeah, you like comics and cartoons, you should read this. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then the animation came out. But Aaron Magruder is right up there. And he's probably more in line because he does like comics and animations and stuff. But he's a GOAT for sure. greatest all time.
Yeah, I don't care anything about celebrities, but one of the few celebrities I ever wanted to talk to is Aaron Magruder. I'd love to talk to him and just pick his brain about how he came up with so many of the brilliant concepts behind Boondocks. I just feel like to this day, I feel like Boondocks is arguably definitely one of the top 3 greatest cartoons ever of all time. And it just pisses me off that it was some BS that got it taken off the air. Because that cartoon was amazing. It's still amazing. I don't know if they're bringing it back and what the plan is for that, but yeah. So what about you, Hotep? Who are your heroes, influences, inspirations, etc.?
So I guess so. Primarily, I'm a writer, and so I kind of paid attention more to the shows on TV that I thought were exceptionally well written. So as far as heroes go, most of my heroes come from sitcoms. I used to grow up watching shows like Living Single, The Cosby Show, obviously, Family Matters, Fresh Prince, and I think sitcoms are probably the best way to kind of learn how to write, because comedy I think is kind of the hardest form of writing because there's so many setups and then deliveries, and it's just back to back to back. And so when I see the way like Bill Cosby and Fresh Prince, Will Smith rather, and Queen Latifah, and how they're able to really just so expertly deliver episode after episode, it really affected my writing style in terms of how to go beat by beat and deliver a product that is consistently entertaining.
Well, I love it. I love it, guys, and I think that what you're doing is great. And I'm going to support. I'm going to go to your website and see what I can see. And you guys came highly recommended by someone that we know and respect. Guy named David, and David, if you're watching, what's up, homeboy? And so for sure. So all right. So everybody. I want to put the information on the screen, and I'm going to assertively ask you to be conscientious about at least going, and you don't have to necessarily pay money, but if you can go pay attention to what these brothers are doing. Attention is a valuable commodity, right? There's a lot of women with big booties on Instagram that are trying to get your attention, right? So these guys they're not going the Instagram big booty route. They're actually showing their brains instead of all the other silly stuff, right? So I want you all to consciously support. Go pay attention to macchiato.studio. If you could just go stop there, give me a yes in the chat that you are going to go and just pay a visit and support the brothers on any level that you feel comfortable. And then also Next Arc Studios on YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. I checked out the channel. I can tell that these guys are dedicated to what they're doing because you can look at their work and tell that they put thousands and thousands of hours into it. So this is not just, people saying, oh, I got a great idea. I don't know if you know how often, man, I wish I could show you all my inbox that's full of people that are like, oh, I just launched this new thing, or I'm about to start this new thing. What you just started and what you're about to start, it's not that it's not important, but I'm actually more impressed when you show me the thing you've been working on for the last 2, 3, 4 years, right? And so the fact that you guys are dedicated to it and you're true professionals with it makes me respect your craft that much more. So I want to say thank you very much to both of you. And I'll state their names so everybody knows it. David Gueringer from Next Arc Studios, all right, and Hotep Anthony from Macchiato Studios. Thank you guys both very much. And sorry I had to hit the mute button. It was that feedback. But
no worries.
Y'all know what it is. Yeah. All right. So everybody, please take care. Have a great day and follow your dreams. And God bless everybody. And I'll see you all real soon. So have a great day. See you.